Microplastics are everywhere.
Discussing microplastics.
Microplastics and nanoplastics.
Microplastics in the air.
Microplastics.
To microplastics.
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 Microplastic.
Right, so microplastics are ubiquitous.
Plastics are an essential part of our economy, and modern daily life is unthinkable without them.
Plastic is, in some ways, an amazing material.
In fact, global plastic production more than doubled between 2000 and 2022.
What is all the noise about these microplastics?
Microplastics are pieces smaller than 5 millimeters.
This plastic eventually ends up being microplastic because it breaks down.
So they're very robust little characters that can act as a vehicle for other toxins and themselves can be toxic.
When they get eaten by these animals, they can transfer these toxic chemicals, and that can have knock-on impacts on the wider marine ecosystems and on human health.
A link to things like cancer. So we saw chronic inflammation quite high in the lung.
Microplastics are suspected to adversely impact reproductive health, respiratory health, and effects on the digestive system.
There's two types. There's primary, which are intentionally made to put in things like cosmetics.
Like facial scrubs. For example, synthetic fibers in mascara.
In shampoo, toothpaste, in lipsticks, the list is very, very long.
The secondary microplastics are larger pieces of plastic that enter into the environment. We can think of certainly single-use plastics like plastic bags.
Things like plastic water bottles, tires, things that degrade over time. They get into the environment.
Those fresh outfits you got, made out of nylon, polyester, or some other synthetic fabric, shed microplastic fibers just by being worn and washed.
But most result from floating waste that is constantly exposed to UV radiation and crumbles into smaller and smaller pieces.
Microplastics, such a big word for such a tiny particle. It can feel overwhelming knowing microplastics are all around us, even though we can't see, smell, or feel them. And plastic itself is everywhere, in our appliances, storing our food, and even woven into the clothes that we wear and wash. The full effects of microplastics on our human health are still being researched. So what can we do when microplastics reach us through our food, our water, the air we breathe, and more? Well, a good first step is understanding where these particles come from. Tires, paint, and wasteful practices in the clothing industry are some of the biggest contributors to microplastic pollution. But beyond this global scale, there are things you can do to limit your interactions with plastic and improve your own health. In our communities, microplastics come from bottles and other mishandled plastics left to degrade in the environment. So what if, instead of letting these plastics break down into pollution, we could turn them into something valuable? What if we could reduce large-scale plastic manufacturing, keep resources local, and build our neighborhoods? That's where Local Loops comes in. My Capstone team is exploring a system that does exactly this. Your unwanted waste is recycled and returned to local artists, manufacturers, and small businesses to build up the community. In the role of a local designer working in the city of Columbus and using locally sourced resources and materials, I created Meander Seating. This project starts with flat sheets of 100% recycled plastic that keeps the source of microplastics contained and out of our environment. This design pushes the material in new directions, literally, as I explore bending and curving the typically flat material, testing techniques that could inspire future innovations in recycled plastic fabrication. The final piece is a modular, two-part seating system that's flexible and can be rearranged into forms as unique as your community. Mini arrangements for anywhere, and with our light technology, anytime. Local Loops. Cheyann Clingerman. Capstone 2025. In partnership with the Center of Neighborhood Design, CDME, and Marble Plastic.